Hey everyone, I want to say, in honor of the 100th anniversary of the Negro Leagues, I'd like to tip my cap. Tip my cap to all the wonderful men who decided to dedicate their lives and play baseball professionally when no one else wanted them to in their own separate league, because that's how much they wanted the game. That's how much they loved the game. And they were willing to do it. All right. And they were willing to do it in a different league with everyone of their own peers with their own creed. And that includes Satchel Paige. It includes all the other ones. Satchel Paige, Willie Renfro. That's I saw a special. Doesn't matter, but I saw a special last night. In fact, when I say last night, I mean I saw a special just a little bit ago on MLB Network about the Negro Leagues and all the important men who were willing to make it happen. All these men that were blacklisted from Major League Baseball simply because of the color of their skin. And today we tip our cap off to all these men who decided to make it a thing. And I'm happy that you have all these wonderful players that made it to Cooperstown. But there's an issue here. There could obviously be more. There should be. These players were, in many cases, better than the ones that were even in the majors at the time. And, I mentioned Satchel Paige and Cool Papa Ray, like all these other names. There was one person they tipped their cap off to in particular, and he happens to not be in Cooperstown. And that happens to be Buck O'Neil. Buck O'Neil was a quality player in the Negro Leagues, and he also became the very first black manager for the Chicago Cubs. He was also responsible for making the Negro Leagues Museum happen, and he's also responsible for making the Negro Leagues themselves such a national pastime that everyone who follows baseball historically cherishes. They cherish them, but they especially cherish Buck O'Neil. However, despite having an award named after him that's honored by the Hall of Fame itself, despite being the person that all the, including 4 former presidents, tipped their cap to, he's still not in. Like, that show don't tell. If you truly want to show someone that they mean as much as you say they do, put him in. He missed by 1 vote in 2006. And while everyone was crying and vicious, he was the one that brought us together. We expect to be the other way around, but he was consoling us. We were trying to console him, but he was doing it for us. And he died shortly afterwards, a couple months later, a month before his birthday. And that stuff like there. 1 vote. He missed by 1 vote in 2006. And you wonder why so many people have so much animosity towards the football and baseball halls. It's not just because their favorite player isn't in. No, a lot of these people, it's way deeper than that. And it's someone like Buck O'Neil, who literally is the reason why people across the nation cherish the history of these blacklisted players. It's because of him, not because of Paige or anyone else. It's because of Buck O'Neil. They tip their hat to him in particular. The fact that he isn't in shows a complete disregard for these individuals. And it shows that it's just poor taste. You have an award named after him, but yet you don't encourage people to vote for him. I understand maybe against the policy, but honestly, people don't see it in a very positive light. They want their guy in regardless. And they don't see it as a super sacred thing because a lot of those people ruined it for them. Because having a situation like Buck O'Neil or Minnie Minoso or Dick Allen or these other influential pioneers to the game are, and people see it as illegitimate. Especially Buck O'Neil, an award named after him, a statue named after him in there, but yet you don't give him the highest honor. You profit off him so much, but yet you don't bother to actually give him the real honor. You know, the honor that people actually look at. They don't look at all this other stuff. That's the one that truly matters. And everyone else matters except for the ones that actually are in charge. And that's unfortunate, but just because it's unfortunate doesn't mean it has to always be that way. We the people need to actually motivate and push ourselves to get Buck O'Neil in Cooperstown. He's not alive to honor it himself, but we are going to all honor it for him. All the people that cherish the Negro Leagues and tip their cap off to him will honor it for him. He is the reason why we are all celebrating the Negro Leagues. It's him. He is the guy. Yeah, it happened beforehand, but he was the one that really brought it to the forefront. And that's why we should celebrate him. Him in particular. He is the reason why we're tipping our caps off. He is the guy. He's the reason why we have a museum in Kansas City for it. He is the reason why we are very open to wanting to see African American or Latino or Asian, what have you, executives or managers in positions in baseball. The MLB could really use this. I understand the MLB and the National Baseball Hall of Fame are not connected, may not be owned by it, but they're very close to one another, and they work hand in hand. But just because that it may not be owned by it doesn't mean they're close to one another. I mean, the same thing with Canton. Yeah, the Pro Football Hall of Fame may not be owned by the NFL, but every single person that is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame all played in the NFL in some capacity, or even part of the NFL in some capacity, and even some people in with the NFL are part of the board for it, and all the people that vote are NFL voters, so you can't be surprised when people mistakenly refer to it as the NFL Hall of Fame, or see it for baseball as the MLB Hall of Fame, because all of them are part of it. All of them are part of it. You can't blame people for saying that. If you really want to say baseball or football, add other guys in. It's a matter of way people don't have that confusion. If you really want to show it, do it. People want this stuff. Buck O'Neil in particular. Again, as I say again and again, if you care so much about him, why not give him the highest honor? You all treat him like he has the highest honor, but he doesn't actually have the highest honor now, do you? He doesn't. He doesn't. Because one person, well, other people too, but especially one person, decided to not vote for him. Because apparently someone like Buck O'Neil's caliber wasn't worthy enough somehow. And he died shortly afterwards. That's just dumbfounded to me. I can't fathom just. There's a reason why people have so much anger for a lot of this stuff. Because they care about people's legacy. This defines someone's legacy. Because they'll say, yeah, but. Fans care about this stuff. And the fans, the people, the average people, including 4 former presidents, want this to happen. They tip their cap off to him in particular. What does that tell you? What does that tell you when they all say him in particular? Hale Reynolds cried on TV about him. Him. It was him. Him. Buck O'Neil. That was the guy. No one else from the Negroes, not even. It was him. He's the person. And Vinny Minoso for Latinos, for Mexicans, my God. Talking about for Mexican Americans himself. Again, I understand that some could say, oh, if you add that, it's a political decision. Who cares? Who cares? Couldn't you say that sports is political? Sports is political, guys. Did you know that? Sports is political. Sports is political. Did you know that? Yeah. Jackie Robinson, you don't think that was political? Of course it was political. Same people complaining about politicization here would probably be complaining about Jackie Robinson integrating it back if they were alive back then. Because it was considered a political move. A political move. But who cares? It's the morally right thing to do. Especially if you're someone like Buck O'Neil, who meant so much for so many individuals, not just people that like sports, just individuals as a whole. And that's also why I want to see Charles Follis or Kenny Washington or Tank Younger for football. Because if you care about people that did stuff like that, really open the game up for people of different creeds, different races. Especially with the NFL, when more and more people are just saying or claiming it's racist. Is it racist? I have no idea. But to many people, they say it is. What better way to show that you're inclusive and that you care about these people than actually give them the highest honor? Don't give them like a tier 2 honor or honorary honor. No, give them the real deal. Give them the actual honor. Giving Tom Flores or Roman Gabriel or someone else a little, oh, you're good, but not good enough card. Because it's not very good. It's just good. It's just not good enough. Because that's what more and more people see it as. Get Buck O'Neil in for Cooperstown if you truly care about the history of the Negro Leagues. Vinny Minoso for Mexican Americans. And for same thing with football. If you care about it so much, put in Tom Flores for Latinos. Put in Bill Nunn for the HBCUs. Charles Follis, Kenny Washington, Eddie Codal. All of them. More and more people need to be open about this. Because the future of the country and the way we talk about the sport, regardless of race, needs to be brought up because a lot of these names were buried in the dust. And I think if you are a historian, if you care about the history of the game, you should be willing to honor all of them. And you should especially hold a lot of high regard for someone that is seen as a face of an entire race of people, just like Buck O'Neil is. Yeah, it's like I said, tip my cap off to the Negro Leagues. Happy 100th anniversary. Can't wait for another 100 more. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. And I'm rooting for you, Buck. You may not be alive to enjoy, but we're gonna all enjoy for you. The only thing that loves me is loving you. Well, something like that, but wonderful person. To see him just sickening. Put him in, guys. Do the right thing. For him, his family, for African Americans, black people in general, baseball fans, everyone. This isn't just for the sport, it's for everything. Don't say, oh, it's political, blah. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Especially nowadays. If you don't do it, you deserve everything that's coming to you then. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say. Take care, everyone, and campaign for Buck. Because, trust me, his family and everyone in the Negro League Museum deserves it.